Okay guys, back for another cast on the druid. So, last time I logged out in Thunderbluff after becoming exalted with Timbermore Hold and handing in my sort of spare rune cloth to the Thunderbluff faction. And I was sort of looking at the world map, so what kind of quests are left when I look from above, and here we have a lot of 60 lead or 60 raid. And we got another 60. I'm pretty sure it's a dungeon quest as well. So the first sort of non-dungeon quest I came to is out here in the middle of nowhere. I'm currently in Azshara, up here by the Horde main quest hub actually. And out here on a small island there's the Duke Hydraxis with 2 quests. So I'm just gonna move my cow behind out there. I read a bit about the quest and I'm pretty sure it's sort of, I wouldn't say a tournament for Molten Core, but it's the Hydraxian Waterlord faction is kind of related to Molten Core, and that makes sense if you think about it as a sort of an elemental issue. So we are talking Molten Core is fire and Hydraxian Waterlords is water, so yeah, 2 opposite factions you could say. One little funny thing now that I'm here in the neighborhood anyway is that my Timbermore Hold, the buddies here, and we have become best friends now. They're actually sort of a little bit of the faction up here, as you can see. And they are simply as green as they can be, and that means that I have a little more, there's a little more of a bonus here, you could say, from becoming exalted with these guys. But I think I could stay here even when I was unfriendly. At least they would be yellow, but they wouldn't attack me. So yeah, it's just I don't know, I just find it a bit amusing that now that I actually did the whole grind, that I can actually, ride peacefully through large parts of Azshara. It's not only here, they have some various sort of points where it's, so you could say it's like their turf. But about getting down to the Hydraxian Waterlords, or getting down to the beach, up here somewhere there's sort of a passage down to the beach. Let's see if I can find it. Because if I can't, then it will be a short episode and it will be death by gravity. As you can see here, it's not even that bad. But that's pretty far down, so I simply have to find the right way down. Yeah, this is a bit too steep as well, I think. And I know this because I'm definitely not getting down there. I remembered that from doing questing here in Azshara, there aren't that many quests, but the few that there are, that I think it's here by the way. There was a goblin that wanted me to get an item that he had lost from some of the mobs down here on the beach. So I knew that would be a passage. And then I had to kill some of these myrmidons or whatever they're called. I'll try and avoid them now, it should be possible. And then simply get to the sea so I could get to Mr. Hydraxian himself. And I'm kind of thinking back in the day, how on earth would anyone find a quest giver out there before the days of Questy, where I can just see every quest on the world map. And I have no idea, to be honest, why anyone would find a quest giver out there. You would have to be the exploring type, that's for sure. And I've been thinking a little bit ahead, and I set up my Hearthstone for Gadgeton, by the way, that's in Tenaris. I couldn't the quest I'm gonna pick up, at least one of them that I'm going to engage, is done in Silithus, in the southern parts of actually the most southern map on this continent. Just gonna show you while I'm standing fairly safely. So it's done all the way down here, and that's why I have 2 other quests lined up, done in Silithus as well. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're gonna go travel form here. Oh, sorry, aquatic form. It's not completely risk-free out here. It's close to as level 60, but not completely. There are, as far as I recall, some elite giants and stuff, but they should be easily avoidable. But taking back Silithus, I think it was a quest that I picked up in one of the main capitals. I think when you reach level 50, it'll be there, and it will probably be a red quest, as it will be 5 quests above your own level. But it's like a hint that you can soon go quest here. Oh, what do we have here? Okay, he just looked like a bad boy, but he wasn't so bad. And we got 55 murlocs as well, interesting. And crappy strangled kelp. Just gonna check the map quickly. Yeah, okay, okay, so there's one of the giants there. And if I have to choose between the two, naturally, about a fight, then naturally I'm gonna take the non-elite. Then we got some cave up here to my left. With a green guy inside. Okay. Not quite sure what this is all about, but as they're green, I'm just gonna explore it now that I'm here. Oh. Is this guy Loramos something? How you doing, pal? With his glaives and stuff, he looks like the guy from the expansion. That's probably not him. He looks pretty badass, but that's a whole nother matter. We're just gonna continue our journey to the Hydraxian Waterlords. This is a model that has been pretty commonly used, I would say, over the course of doing all the quests up to here. I think I've killed at least 2 of them before. No, it's not true. I think I've killed 4 of them, actually, at various levels, where the highest so far was probably level 50 or something. I remember there was one in, maybe it was even 55. There was one in Strangleton Vale, actually 2 in Strangleton Vale, and there's been one in, I think it's Swamp of Sorrows, or Sangamarsh, or no, not Sangamarsh, something else, some other swamp, I don't remember where it was. And then finally there was one in Desolus as well. So it's, like I said, it's a model sort of commonly used. And oh yeah, and there's some of these guys in was it? Yeah, Feralis as well. There was some goblin that wanted me to shrink them, and then I could just kill them and actually make them non-elites. But so far they've been fairly easy to kill, especially with my root spell. So they don't seem to have any sort of special ability. They're just, yeah, heavy hitters probably. So getting closer now. Just keeping an eye on the murlocs. Murlocs can always be annoying. And the reason why I didn't set up my Hearthstone in Silithus is that I simply forgot to pick up the flypoint, I think. But there was one quest that I picked up in one of the main cities. Okay, we're getting closer now. Big yellow elementals here. And I guess the big dog is up on top here. But I simply forgot to pick up the fly point. Because I couldn't fly there. So that must be the only sort of logic explanation. And I did quest a lot in Ungoro Crater right next to Silithus. And okay, not here apparently. And right when you entered the zone of Silithus, there was a guy that would give you a quest. I think you actually went to give him a letter or something like that, and then he gave you this quest instead. So that's why I've sort of, as I'm going there now, that's why I sort of are tracking him over here. So Mr. Hydraxian here, that has no pre-quest of any kind. He's a pretty big guy. He has 2 quests for me. I'm just gonna pick them up. There we go. And I'm gonna hearth to Tenaris, or Gadgetzan in Tenaris. And from there I'm gonna fly to Ungoro Crater. And from Ungoro Crater I'm gonna move my cowish behind to to Silithus, where I have to go in order to complete these quests. I'm not sure I'm gonna make all of them, but let's just see how it goes.
Loktar.
And yeah, no fly point. So one of the quests are not done in where I'm going here. The poison water, I think, is one that the Hydraxian Waterlord just gave me. It's Duke Hydraxis. I think it's done in yeah, I'm actually reading the quest for a change here. Eastern Plagueland, so it's on the other continent. So for now I'm not gonna track this quest. There we go. There's no need to make things more confusing than they have to be, and this is a quest item, so it goes over here. And yeah, hello my old buddies. So I'm wondering if I could kill these guys, if I can root them, and I probably can. I'm not gonna try though, not now. I'm a bit too spooked to do it, but I saw 60 Rogue annihilate one of these, so I guess if you're enough geared, you can kill them fairly easy. And to get to Silithus from here, it's over here in the corner somewhere. There's a sort of steep road up into the zone. One other thing is that I have to kill these they are elemental stormers and rumblers, and I think they're pretty sort of highly sought after because they have a chance to drop some end-game crafting materials. So I might be, when I show up there might be a lot of guys grinding them, and you know, if that's the case, then I'm just gonna engage one of the other quests and then maybe do it at some later point. So I'm actually gonna snatch this blindweed if I can find it. It's right there. Blindweed is used for actually, I'd say, one of my most important potions at the moment, namely the elixir. It's not a potion, it's an elixir, but the elixir of greater intellect. 25 extra intellect is a ton of extra mana. As I currently have, well, it's like 10% extra mana. As my current status is 265, and I'll get an additional 25. That's almost 10% extra. That's quite a bit for a fairly easy elixir to make. And one of the ingredients is blindweed, so I'm not gonna pass on blindweed. And I do remember that the biggest of the dinos, I think he's called King Mosh. He's actually sort of, when he's patrolling from A to B, of course, but sometimes when he's, let's say, hitting B, then he'll be almost right in front of the passage. So you could risk sort of running into him by coming around the corner here. But yeah, no one's home at the moment. And another thing about the elementals here is that they are probably immune to nature damage, which sucks quite a bit actually, because then I have to use my sucky arcane starfire spell as my main sort of working horse, and it's just really the DPS is probably the same, but it just feels so slow casting a 3-second spell. But I'm just gonna have to see how it works out. And I remember from when I was in the zone and I actually didn't pick up the fly point that back then was that, by the way, it looks really great with the night sky here. But when I was in the zone, there was some humanoids riding around, a big bunch, maybe like, I don't know, 5-8 riders, something like that, on fast mount. So I don't want to get caught up with those guys. By the way, this guy, Leo Starstrike, he is the one that gave me this one, I think. Yeah, it is Leo Starstrike. So I got the quest from him, and I got it after I handed in a letter to him when I was questing in Unguro's crater, where I just came from. So it might be smart to just go up. I think I'll do that. Go get the fly point. But I might not even have been in the... I may have chickened out of going to sort of the main quest hub here, because I saw the riders riding around here. I don't know. I don't recall. Because it looks like I haven't explored the zone either. Yeah, never mind. I'm not gonna risk any combat over a sungrass. If it had been some valuable flower, yeah, maybe. But about the marauders, I think they're called, when they're sort of riding around, there they are actually. Then they will engage with some of the guards that are sort of patrolling back and forth. And the marauders here are 59, 58. I'm not gonna interfere in this. Not until I know them better and what they're able to do and stuff. I recall they look very warrior-like, and from what I recall, when I was at sort of explored Stratholme in one of the previous episodes, was that there was some warriors, Scarlet Monist, yes, is it this? What are they called? Scarlet Crusade. There was some Scarlet Crusaders. There's an escort there. There was some warrior-like bodyguards to that one. And they could charge and intercept, so you could be like charged over and over. And as I've just discovered, Scenario and Hold here, I didn't get the fly point because I was never here. That makes sense as well. And we got Sugar Daddy. I think it's one of the raiders on the server, by the way.
How may I
fly point, thank you very much. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So I had a quest where I could just, taking back Silithus. It's just a hand in. There we go. Just gonna hand in this one in for starters.
May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
Yeah. So about the Cenarian Circle. Yeah, and you know what? I think I'm just gonna make this in my home for now.
May the stars guide you.
I only picked Gaddiston because it was the closest to here. But I'm just gonna check the vendors now that I'm here. At least some of them, yeah, this Well, it's
Ishnu
enchanting,
Daldiel.
but let's see if there's anything else interesting. Nope.
Ashar Fela.
Okay. Fair enough. I had my Shadow Priest has been here and she's an enchanter, so I guess that's why I knew that could be something that was of interest. You know what? Let's go for the Rumblers and the Dust Stormers. And hopefully, and it's up here in this corner actually. The other quest you can see here is the Spirits of the Southwind. But I'm gonna come for what I sort of initially came from. About the scenario and hold reputation, or the faction, I think there's a lot of useful stuff here that that I will probably grind for at some point. But fortunately it's a different kind of grind, a little bit different kind of grind than Timbermoor Hold. Where Timbermoor Hold was a very long push where you're only grinding, and then you can then hand in afterwards. Then you can do the quests here and grind sort of at the same time. Really, you can do what you feel like. You can do both. I mean, because it's not like, I mean, you'll be able to grind the mobs up to and including exalted status. I'm just gonna see where I actually am. Okay, a bit far from where I should be. What I'm looking out for here, I think danger of what could be a little dangerous. I haven't been in this zone really I haven't been in this very area for like more than 10 years. So I'm not nervous, but because the mobs are sort of, I was just about to say fairly low level, but I guess they're not. Not all of them anyway. So we got 58 elites. I'm not going near that right now anyway. But there will probably be what I call a son of a Rugal, meaning something that is very nasty and high level compared to yourself. It's typically sort of the developers of the game to make those kinds of challenges. Let me put it like that. Oh yeah. So we actually got ambushed here by this guy, and he's rather painful actually. I'm just gonna see in my... I didn't even know as there was there was stealth guys like that. I'm just gonna check my combat log, how much damage I actually took here, because I think he took a huge chunk of my hit points here. Combat log, let's see. Yeah, so this guy hit me for 400 twice. That was a little painful. Oh, wrong button. So, yeah. It's not, as you can see, talking about hidden dangers and stuff, it's not without... I mean, I'm not being too overcautiously here, as you could see, when I can lose 400 hit points per hit from some hidden mob. So I'm gonna keep a pretty huge distance to that hive or whatever it was. But what I was sort of mainly looking out for was the spiders, because the spiders can they can whip you. And as I died twice with the warrior, due to being whipped and then swarmed, then I'm pretty cautious about mobs that can whip. It's not a big problem for a druid, as I can sort of shapeshift out of whips, but still. It's not very... As soon as the mobs are using crowd control on you, it's always kind of a problem. Just gonna check the map. Yeah, okay, we're getting the right direction. Alright. So, I suppose it's time to buff up a little bit. And I think I might even, for starters, go with a little stamina buff here. Food buff, that is. Maybe mainly because I don't really know the area that well. And there we go. Okay, so let's see if these guys are immune to nature damage, which they probably are. That means I can't root them either. Let's start with this guy. Yeah, immune, okay. So this is all I got, really. And right now I'm pretty glad I buffed the stamina. Did get sort of a bad start, you could say, because I could start at least with the Starfire instead of starting with 2 spells that the mob is immune to. And while doing this and having awful spells against these guys, I still have to sort of have eyes in my back. In the back of my head. Nice fat 1300 crit, my highest damage so far, by the way. So I'm actually doing quite a damage to these guys. I guess I just have to get used to it. That I don't like. It feels like an eternity to cast a spell that takes 3 seconds. And as you can see, my spell here has a chance to stun these guys, and that's pretty fortunate when you're doing slow-mo DPS like this. Nice fat crit. And yeah, some of these items are probably useful in some sort of crafting material or another. I'm just gonna see how much I actually got explored here, but it was quite a bit. But these hives, they were definitely nasty. So I wouldn't say like I'm especially sort of nervous right now, being in a zone that I don't know too well. But I'm sure that as soon as I sort of get to know the traps of the zone, I'll be more comfortable here. I guess that goes without saying. Pretty nice when you start out with a stun here, because then I can almost cast one extra Starfire for free, you could say. And with 5 reputation per kill here, you could ask yourself, are you going to grind this faction to Exalted? Maybe, who knows. It's not my plan right now. I'd like to do something else than completely sort of mindless mob grinding, but these mobs can actually drop a lot of valuable stuff, so it's not completely useless to grind them, but I'm not feeling for grinding them right now, because I just came through Timbermore Hold. And yeah, I'd like to do something else for a little while at least. But if I was in a grindy mood on my druid here, I might as well, I guess, grind these guys. We can start with a little questing, that's for sure. So I'm not quite sure where the rumblers are. It's sort of the earthen guys, but I can imagine it's probably over on this side. And yeah, like I said, I feel good about the extra stamina buffs, and I'm sort of glad that I brought them along. I've been doing that for a long time. One other thing, by the way, I haven't got the... I used to have the buff from Fellwood, where I get 15 all stats and plus 5% crit, and that's buff is kind of gone at the moment, and it's sort of felt. Meaning less damage and less sort of overall stats and higher level mobs. So and you can feel it in the way that I sort of have to make healing over time constantly here. Nice double stun here. So I need 2 more, and I can see 2 more. That's kind of perfect. And then I got the earthen guys here. If I'm lucky, they're not immune to nature damage, but I'm not holding my breath for it. I actually think they are. And as usual, I have to keep in mind where are sort of my flight path, you could say, if things go wrong. And to be honest, the only way I can sort of run at the moment is pretty much the way that I came from, meaning this way. But I must say it's some juicy crits this spell can make. It might be funny to get, go full arcane damage here and then just use this spell. Anyway, that was number 15. Oh, and I actually got an Essence of Air. This is like 20 gold, guys. It's used in quite a bit of sort of really sort of the highest end of enchants, like say 25 agility on 200 weapons, for instance. So it was quite some people are mainly grinding these guys just for items like this. Anyway, yeah. I think I'm gonna go full mana here because I'm not quite sure about these guys and their abilities as well. Alright, I'm just gonna start out with my nature magic, and it's probably gonna fail. Yep. No root, no buff. Just good old sucky Starfire. Ah, it's not that bad. It's just a slow cast. And I've been saying for so many times, patience. Patience is such a virtue as hardcore. Nice fat double stun again here. And we got a little bit more explored, so I'm already explored half the map, not too bad. Only sort of, wouldn't say I was dying, but only got surprised in a nasty way once. Imagine this blue item is part of a quest. Nothing I can pick up right now though. So at least you start out as a neutral with the Hydraxian Waterlords. It's not like I was with the Timbermore Hold where you were hostile actually to begin with. Meaning a longer grind, of course. Resist that was painful, but then I made a nice fat, almost 1400 crit after. And and I was kind of wondering if you would get the reputation nevertheless. I mean, if you haven't... Maybe you would get the reputation, and that's the hint that you need to find the Hydraxian Waterlords initially. I mean, my sort of thought experiment about how people actually found Duke Hydraxis to begin with. And I'm just gonna I could try without the food buff. Let's just see how it goes. So it's 12 stamina less, meaning yeah, what's that? I don't know, 250 hit points, something like that. So there's some green guy up here, High Lord Demetrian, part of a quest as well, I suppose. But like I said, I'm feeling like this is almost like a new game to me. I don't recall the quest here at all, and all the traps of the area. But he doesn't seem to have a quest, or maybe he does, or maybe it's for a class quest, or maybe it's for alliance, but Horde aren't supposed to attack him, etc., 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 etc. I don't know. I could talk to him.
You need something?
Okay,
Have a
so
good one.
that was a lot of stuff. I read some of it for a change, but apparently he's got some beef with the Ragnaros, which is the sort of end boss in the Raid of Molten Core. At least I know that much. So 5 more to go. But to be honest, it feels, even though it's kind of slow, DPS, I don't know if it's slow DPS, it's probably the same, just like again, 3-second cast just feels like a marathon cast. But compared to having used that many hours in Felwood grinding Timbermore Hold, this is quite uplifting actually. So I need around, I was just keeping an eye on it, I think I need around 1,000 mana to kill a mob. Unless I sort of miss or the mob resists my spells. That's fat, 1400 crit. And Essence of Earth is about this, not these, but these. Essence of Earth is sort of high value items as well. Probably, I'm not sure if it's 20 gold. It request and demand, maybe worth a little less, but these they're usually like 20 gold. I had to buy them, I think, for my 30 spell power enchant. So I wouldn't say I get ripped off because I think I'm pretty lucky with the drop rate so far. Even, yeah, I got one for 15 kills, but still. I think it's a fairly low drop chance from these guys, maybe like 2% or something like that. So I cannot complain that I actually got one of each. There we go. So, yeah, I was about to say, so I'm gonna hearth back, but actually I'm not gonna do that because I So I got 26 minutes cooldown on my Hearthstone. So trying to take the safe route back as possible. And so much for safety. Good thing about druid being so versatile is that I can sneak my way out. I'm just gonna do that. And the reason why I'm doing that is because there might be some mobs or some hidden stuff that I'm not aware of, and it can be sort of a death penalty to not have an escape route, even for level 60, especially if that 60 is going into panic because he don't know where to run if you get too much aggro at the moment. I think as long as I stay away from the sort of these hives, the big ones here, then I should be fine. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, just checking out the level of the local fauna. But when you're close to spiders, doesn't really matter what class you are. Expect the worst, and is that you're gonna get whipped. Yeah, the spider's version of root, I know. And as you can see here, let's say if you're a warrior and you got trouble getting out of a spell like that, and warriors do have problems with that, then you can easily get swarmed. I mean, it doesn't take many of these patrols to actually run into you, you could say, when you're stuck, and all of a sudden you got way too much aggro. So I think the Twilight Hammer guys here are yeah, it's mobs that can be grinded eventually for... They can drop some, I think they're called Twilight's Hammer text or something like that. And those texts are... if you hand in 10 of them, and they're fairly low drop. I don't know, I have no idea about the percentage. I read a little bit about Snare and Hold here, and that's... I think they are the meat of the grind if you want to become exalted with Snare and Hold. And I could see now that I'm here if I can find sort of the faction guy. Maybe I can't even see the faction guy yet.
Friend.
Well, I guess I can. This is sort of the blacksmith version, but as you can see, it's pretty decent stuff here. I don't know about the materials, but obsidian shards are probably something that you can get in.
Ancestors watch
You got AQ40, I think it's down here, and AQ20 down there. I'm so noob with these raids that I don't even remember what it stands for. I'll figure it out when I get down there. I mean, what the... Yeah, I forgot.
Hello.
Oh, let's see. Okay, so we are talking some nature resist stuff here. Oh, and I might actually get a herb back. It could be useful. 20 slot. But yeah, I guess I'll figure it out, and then I can show you eventually if I find the actual vendor of the faction. For now, sorry, I'm gonna go check out the spirits of Southwind, see how it goes, and try to avoid any hopeful dangers like this nasty elite bee here. Okay, and I suppose it's there because this hive as well is pretty cool made with all the insect swarm there as well. Guess it's time to buff up a little. There was some weird sound I got a little spooked about here. Oh, it was this one. So apparently you can pick up these, I think, and then you can get flagged on top. I don't feel like that really all that much right now. The soul is spooky enough as it is. I don't need to be flagged on top. Let's see. I'd like stamina buff again. And then we can see how much 12 stamina actually is hit points wise. So I'm going for 32, 27, 2. Yeah, it's about, I don't know, 125, something like that. Let's see if these guys, if they will like my nature damage. Oh yes sir. So back to my usual buttons here. Oh. Hello there. So I suppose this bugger was sort of inside him. It's not very nice of you. That's a good B. Okay, this it actually said here that this thing here is the second deadliest. I don't know, maybe it can do some kind of nasty tricks that I haven't sort of figured out yet. Oh, and another one. So I'll just stick to the dirt road here because it's what I know. This is my safe space, you could say. Perfect. So 2 of my buffs here are running out. Is sort of the spell power and mana regeneration, but you know what? I'll be fine. I haven't really figured out what the druid sort of ability is. I know. I think it's healing. Ah, okay, it's healing. Okay, moonfire and stuff as well. Fuck that. Oh, and another one of these. But I guess the druid runs out of mana before I do. Fortunately. And another one. Yep. Okay, so they seem to drop every single time, these sort of wasps. But as I said, it's the second deadliest in Silithus, so could be that the hive ashy drones here are sort of you call it, I don't know. But a lot of different of these insects are called hive ashy drones, is what I mean. I was about to say... Oh, and this guy didn't drop a wasp. I was about to say it's about bursting these guys down, the druids here, before they can heal. But apparently I set up my my add-on here, so I can't see when they're casting spells. Except for he's casting a spell now. And I barely made bursting him down, but I couldn't actually see when he was done casting the spell. The problem is, I think it was hard enough to set up this. I like this add-on a lot. This casting add-on, I mean. And yeah, there was hardly room for seeing the spellcast of your opponent. But I guess I'm gonna have to figure that out. And I suppose it's because it's a self spell, because if it's an attack spell, then usually I can see it. Oh well, I could when I was grinding Timbermore Hold anyway. Yeah, so it looks like he starts healing himself when he gets below 50% hit points. So either is the patrol coming from far away, or the respawns are starting to appear. And I guess I got some quest item here. I think I'll see to it next time. I'm getting a bit tired. It's 0340 now, so I think I'll stick to this quest for now. So the respawns are definitely here now. Just making a little distance to them, so I won't get too much aggro. I mean, for each of these sort of druids or sentinels that I engage, I'll have to expect that it's a 2-mob, because there's almost always a wasp after. But 2 more druids and 4 more sentinels, and we're getting somewhere. No wasp for a change, that was nice. That was last of the druids, by the way, so it's only sentinels now. Okay, that gave me quite a scare. I mean, the sort of the shadow of the boot of Nostormu, whatever. I have no idea about what this was about. Probably some quest or lore or whatever. Let's see if we can pull this sentinel without getting this guy as well. I got really spooked because the shadow of that dragon was right above me. And that, I don't recall seeing that ever. So I thought, you know, I had missed out on the son of a Rugal, you could say. The local son of a Rugal, I mean. Meaning some big nasty dragon. Anyway, last guy. Girl. Target. Victim. Whatever. And I got 2 minutes so I can hearth back and hand in the quest. I think I might do a little sightseeing here meanwhile. It'll take me almost 2 minutes to just, you know, ride back anyway. Seems pretty blocked here. Yeah, so another of these hives there with the high level elite, so I'm not gonna get too close to that. Due to those stealthers. I still remember the one with, and it's 400 hits. 400 hit points melee hits on me. Alright, so I guess, okay, this is some kind of road. I guess this is supposed to be lamps. I guess I'm gonna hearth back. Oh yeah, and I'm not even supposed to hand in the quest here. I actually have to get all the way back to Leo's Starstrike down here. So again, main danger was these marauders. that are probably still fighting the guards down here, but it's not always they are, and I've seen them riding around, and like I said, they are 100% mount speed, where I am a 60% mount speed, so they could easily catch me if they wanted to. So I suppose I could run to these guys
Can I assist you?
if I came in trouble, at least with those marauder guys. I don't think with the local fauna they probably won't interrupt there if you get attacked by that. So I think the plan is to hand in this quest, and then there might be some kind of follow-up. I'll probably pick it up, and I might do the other quest for the Hydraxian Waterlords just to see what else they come up with. And then I'll take it from there. Seems to be a lot of traveling with these quests as well. And I should probably be a bit more fresh. I'm getting rather tired now, especially now that I'm in a new zone and it's not just some repetitive grind. So let's see what good old Leo here has to say. Oh, and there's actually some kind of
Can
leatherworking
I assist you?
dude here. I could just sell this stuff here. Oh, and another thing, I should probably send some of my gold to my banker. There's no need if I actually die to lose 500
I am
hard-earned gold.
Go in peace.
Okay, fine. So he had a follow-up. I'm just gonna pick it up. Yeah, but with I wouldn't say my newfound buddies, but with these guys that I'm with here, and they probably should be my buddies, to be honest, as they are sort of druids. I'm gonna sit here by the fire, and as usual, guys, I'm gonna thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care, bye bye.